To many PC users, OS/2 is just a name, yet to others, it's an operating system that provides unmatched power. We'll find out what it can do now from, first of all, George Oliver, Manager of Information Technology at the Royal Bank of Canada, John Sawyering, IBM's Manager of Independent Software Development, and here to help us understand all of it is Edwin Black, who's the publisher of this new magazine for OS/2 types called the OS/2 Professional. Edwin, the perception is there's a war out there between IBM and Microsoft, between Windows and OS/2, and that Windows won and OS/2 lost. It's not that easy, is it?
No, I think there was a war, and I think the war is over. It ended last fall during Comdex when Windows NT failed to show. Right now, OS/2 has demonstrated that it has revolutionized personal computing. It is a system that is so revolutionary, it will actually give time back to its users, take the frenzy out of personal computing. And I'm speaking of the multitasking. I'm speaking of the fact that a simple individual can do 10 things at once, not through his own energies, but through the energies of the computer, which is why OS/2 is known for harnessing the computer and not the operator.
Okay. All right, you got one fan there, John. All right, let's turn now to take a look. And you're going to show us version 2.1, the newest version of OS/2, which is just coming out. First of all, what are the differences between 2.1 and 2.0?
Well, first of all, in OS/2 2.1, we can run some additional applications that we were unable to run in OS/2 2.0. OS/2 2.0 was able to run most DOS applications and Windows applications, but there were a few Windows applications we couldn't run, and those were called enhanced mode Windows applications. There's a couple of them on this system right now that are installed, like Wolfram's Mathematica or the OmniPage Professional, which is a scanning application, which are enhanced mode applications which under OS/2 2.1 now are able to run.
Okay.
In addition, DOS and Windows applications run much faster under this release of the operating system, and we integrate into the operating system multimedia features, which now will be standard on every
we'll get to see that a little bit later on.
Yes,
First of all, just give us a little introduction to this OS/2 desktop and some of the things you can do, John.
Okay, what many people so far have found very attractive is the ease of use, and many compare this to the Apple Macintosh, and some argue that it's easier to use than the Macintosh because it builds into an object-oriented interface facilities such that a user can manipulate what are viewed to be everyday objects just by directly
show me what you mean
pointing
on
to
the
them
screen, John.
and dragging to them. So what we'll do is take a look at a folder. For example, I've created a folder and called it Computer Chronicles. It looks like a manila file folder. If I point to it and double-click, a program starts up which opens up that folder, and in it I have a document called Top Secret. If I point to this document, I can just double-click it. And what happened really underneath the covers is that the computer system knew to go and start a particular editor and load a particular document, and it brought it up for me. I didn't have to deal with an application or deal with any file systems. The computer handled that for me, and that's the object-oriented nature that makes it easier to use.
What other examples would you have?
Now, part of it is direct manipulation also. For example, if I want to move something from a file, I can just take it out of the file folder and move it over. Or if I want to file something in a particular document, I just dragged it over. I can also shred it or delete something just by bringing it over to a shredder. Dragging it over and dropping on the shredder, and it'll prompt me in case I didn't do that accidentally, but it will now delete it, and it's been deleted from that folder. So those are just some of the basic manipulations where before you might enter through cryptic commands or through menus and having to select from menus to perform an operation. Now you're pointing to something, just dragging and dropping, and people are finding that to make the system very easy to use.
And you can open up DOS applications, Windows applications in here?
Absolutely. That's one of the attractive features. We call this the integrating platform because you can take existing DOS applications, existing Windows applications, install them, and have the user get additional benefits above and beyond running them in their native environment.
Could you do that for us? I mean, I see you have 1, 2, 3 down there, or you have Windows.
Yeah, actually, what we have here is we created a document called PC Sales Forecast. That's another thing you can do is you can put very long names instead of short cryptic names that follow an 8.3 format. And if I point and click at this, an existing DOS application, Lotus 123, now is really taking advantage of the object-oriented characteristics. I pointed, the system loaded the application, started it, and it loaded a file, which is my forecast file, automatically into the system. I'll just shut that one down.
And how about a Windows example?
Okay. A Windows example would be Lotus's Omni Pro, which is represented by this icon. Again, pointing and clicking, and it brings up the document. And users get some benefits in this, more memory space, and the ability to interoperate between DOS applications, Windows applications, and OS/2 applications.
You can actually use that principle, I think you showed me before, of actually changing the color of your
your background.
background.
A lot of people like that. They get fairly stylish at times. Let's open up this file folder. It has a white background or a grayish background. Let's say we don't quite like that and we want to change it to this orangish background.
You can
Being
drag
from
and drop
Texas,
color, basically.
yeah, this is the color of the University of Texas right here, so it's an appropriate one.
Okay.
And it's as simple as that to change color. You can change fonts just as easily.
All right, George, I want to turn to you, and you've got a separate IBM ThinkPad there you're using. You're a user of OS2, and show us some of the features you like about using OS2 versus some of the other platforms.
Pretty much the same kind of idea. In the bank, we have been crippled by DOS in terms of getting business application out the door. We spent more time re-engineering and figuring out memory maps, and you know, and our network is many thousands of PCs. So it's really important for us to get away from the handicaps of DOS and into the next generation of operating system. And some of the ease of use stuff that John talked about also impressed us as well. But a lot of the stuff that we're doing is actually the inherently underneath the glass is really what we're after.
The wallpaper is yours, by the way. I take it that doesn't come with OS2.
This is a standard raw bank wallpaper at the back here.
Okay.
What I'd like to show you is basically I'm doing the same thing. I'm bringing up memos. This actually notepad is my notepad. I use this all the time. Again, you can call things the update paper feedback and call things meaningful names. I've also installed the latest CC Mail, and I believe you're getting
We'll see a full look at CC Mail under OS2 later.
Basically, what I'm doing there is directly manipulating that document and saying I want to send it to someone. Up comes the CC Mail-based application. Automatically, it's attached as an attached document. I want to send it to myself for the purposes of this demo, and basically give it a title, and then go off and say, okay, mail that document. So you can imagine the ability to do that is very, very important for us because it reduces the amount of time, reduces the training, reduces the complexity of the underlying operating systems. What I'll show you there is basically that's arrived. There's a new file that arrived. I can double-click on that file, bring it up, let people have a look at it. More importantly, the ability to take multiple vendors' products and have them work seamlessly together.
All on
the same desktop. So basically I'm saying here is double-click on that attached file. What happens was, under the covers, the operating system said that is a process, a word process document. Bring up the word processor. I didn't have to file the document, find it in a directory. All that kind of complexity is basically hidden from the viewer.
Quickly, George, you have one little neat thing up there. I know it doesn't have much to do with OS2, but you have a utility up there called the mouse odometer. I know our viewers would like to see.
The mouse odometer is a critical app, in my opinion. So, mouse odometer, I'm Canadian, so of course it's in kilometers. And you can see that, of course, it's calculating how much distance this mouse is doing over this session. And since January the 10th of this year, it's done 1.618. So it's a real busy little mouse there.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Well.